thought, you know, Nexus is a pretty cool name, just so you know. Just for the record, because StarCraft 2 Protoss are awesome. StarCraft Protoss. So the bear is going to be in bear form, as he has in fact upgraded himself to tier 2, so the bears are not going to be so much for war, more for heavy melee attackers, which is probably what he needs, as currently his only melee attacker so far is the Demon Hunter up until he got these bears. But I feel like he could definitely use to get some more units out, because the opponent, Nexus, has a bunch of mercenary camp units, and that looks like this ogre's going to be taken out. And this base is very well defended. He might want to get some siege up here to help clear out these towers if he wants to hope to take down this expansion. And if we go ahead and look over at the base, this barracks isn't really having anything being done. We got an Ancient of Wind being produced that could be for hippogriffs, but with the towers that are on the screen, it'll more likely be for the Druid of the Talon to try and cyclone up cast Cyclone on some of the units to try and even the tide of battle. Again, it's definitely could be either one, but his footman's kind of sitting here. Gonna be just doing stuff that footmen like to do. And so we got his army. It's gonna be moving to the right a little bit, and a ping because somebody noticed that. And we're gonna go ahead, and he has, it looks like, not really messing with this Ancient of Wonders, even though he probably has the time to do that. And he's going to be going and creeping out a base while building his Tree of Life, because he's definitely going to be expanding right here, because again, that's close to a direct path to this right here, and he wants to be able to pump in reinforcements. He wants to keep this sort of pressure type thing that he's got going on. Workshop's going to be going down, pumping out some mortar teams, as well as an double arcane sanctums down here for what it looks like for the sorceress. And looks like we got some more creeping going on here, and looks like we got the +1 defense actually being trained for the human player. Not really focusing. Neither player doesn't seem to be focusing all that much on tech. I don't know if he's been focusing on any research, but anyways, we've got a sentry visibility thing coming down here on this item mall, and we're also going to be seeing him walking up here and going to be moving out his army. Could do some more pressure, but he looks like he's going to be running up to the main base into this item mall. He's got fairy dragons, which is probably what that Ancient of Wind was used for, was to get the fairy dragons for, I think it's fairy fire, in order to lower the defense of the opponents of Nexus's army. And Nexus actually going to be going out with a Mountain King hero in order to do some creeping with that. Also take note that he has a Spellbreaker and a Priest, and Priests are probably one of the most vital spellcasters for humans, as they're going to be healing your units, of course. So it looks like these armies are going to possibly be colliding here. It looks like he is going to back up and decide to creep this instead. Both players have bigger armies, have pretty big armies, but the human player definitely has a huge, probably a larger army than the Night Elf. They're definitely both close in size, so I can't tell you 100% for sure. But considering that the human's army is very well mixed with plenty of guys, and they are going to be in fact taking down this item mall, which wasn't being used all that much, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. Going to be going and dropping a Cloak of Shadows down there, and also freeing up this expansion right here. There, you saw the mortar teams. The human Nexus knows all about this expansion because you saw the mortar teams using that flash ability of theirs, and the human's going to be running up here, and he could be attacking this expansion, which he does not have the army to defend that, and he is going to spot this. He's going to be running his units down but not in time, as it looks like this expansion is probably going to be taken out, as massive siege damage going down on that Tree of Life. It's going to be Scroll of Town portaling. The Wisps are healing it, and there's a Scroll of Town portal, and this is a huge fight going down, as units are just fighting each other to the death, and these fairy dragons are doing some sort of flame charge attack form, and there's going to be some cyclones on these bears. Is going to temporarily be taking them out of the field, and looks like he's going to be taking out it looks like that these peasants are just going to be taking out, they're going to be attacking this Naga Sea Witch, and the Demon Hunter trying really hard to go for this Archmage, but he is going to be going up against an invincible Mountain King now, which is not the kind of Mountain King you want to be up against. And this bear looks like he's going to be taken out by a water elemental, which is not the greatest way to go down. And the Sea Witch is going to be taken out, so it looks like the humans, looks like Nexus has got this, as he's got 5 mortar teams down there, which are going to be doing some continuous damage on to this Demon Hunter, and not quite the GG, not quite. Mistake that was an observer, not. So it looks like that expansion is going to be taken out, which is going to be huge, and you can expect a GG soon. He needs to get an expansion up, and we've got units sitting around down here, not really helping out all that much, but it's not like they need to, because these bears are this Demon Hunter is actually going to be pushing these guys back, or at least they're just going to be Scroll of Town portaling out of there. I'm not entirely sure why, as it looked like he had this fight. This barracks did get healed up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and throwing down another Ancient of Wonders and another scan on the base, and he is going to be seeing that that Naga Sea Witch is going to be rebuilt, pumping out more Dryads, and not really using any other unit producing structures. Is going to be creeping these easy creeps, which usually is the first thing that I would do, but just something to try and level up his hero while he waits for his army to be rebuilt. He's going to be retrying the build on this expansion, but the human is going to scan and see this, and so this does not look good for the Night Elf player, as the human army is going to be running up here and denying this expansion from being built, which is going to, or not, they actually look like they're backing up, and they are in fact going to be attacking. It's going to be regrouping in the main base, and he probably wants the Scroll Town portal out of there, but it's definitely not going to be in time. He's going to go ahead and force the cancel, and that Wisp is going to be taken out with using some detonate. I'm not entirely sure who he would use to detonate on, but so these mortar teams, everybody's going to be running up, doing damage. He's going to be hitting it right at home, hitting the main base. This barracks, this poor barracks, is going to be taken out. He's going to be doing some sort of tower. I'm going to be putting down some towers to help prevent the pushback even farther, and the Ancient of Wonders and the barracks are going to be taken out. He's very low. He's got 12,000 gold left in his gold mine and no expansion yet. He's putting out hippogriffs to try and deal with these gyrotropters, and it's going to be going ahead and just doing damage to all of these units, and I honestly, I'm not entirely sure what the Night Elf player can do at this point, as it looks like these towers are turning into guard towers. They're going to be pushing back a little bit, but once these guard towers are done, that's going to be even harder than it already is with such a big army to try and fight against. He's going to be trying to take out this Mountain King, but it's not going to work. Going to be taking out the siege units in the back and this water elemental, but of course that can just be rebuilt. Mortar team's going to be shooting these unit